Right then, welcome to another UK hand dryer adventure, which is the first special video of 2025. I'm abandoning the Dryer Adventure Plus concept since it didn't exactly seem to do too well to say the least, so I'm reverting back to just hand dryer adventure. However, I will continue to adapt and modify until I find something that satisfies as many people as I can. First of all, we'll go to the ZSEA Banham site, since that's the first one I filmed. The first set of toilets we'll visit is up by the owl enclosure, where the male and female toilets are out of service, leaving us with just an SM48 in the accessible toilet. This dryer has very much seen better days, as the heater was dead. The pull cord arrangement in this toilet was also slightly bodged. Next I visit the toilets up near the massive giraffe area. However, there was no accessible toilet, and the standard toilets were just porta cabins that had been placed as permanent buildings, so it would have been reasonably risky to film. Since the dryer was just an Air Force, I obviously wasn't going to take that risk. However, I did take photos of it. There's absolutely no way it should have been mounted on a cubicle piece though. Next up are the toilets in the corner of the park by the weird train thing, which pleasantly surprised me with pre-China Model A's, which were present in all toilets in this set. It's nice to find these when so many have been replaced in refurbishments over the years. Next we move on to the hand washing station at the end of the tropical house, where we have a Model A. However, this is sadly a PHS unit that came from China. I was thinking about filming this, however I decided not to in the end. We now go to the final hand washing station fitted with dryers here, which is in the farm barn which had a pair of Air Forces. However, there were clearly a whopping 4 here at some point. I don't quite know why they were removed, however there never should have been so many installed in the first place. Next we go to the changing places toilet, which isn't actually marked on this map. It's a Rise modular unit which has been plopped in near the Discovery Centre, so is naturally home to a horrible airdry quasar branded as dry flow. Finally, we move over to the toilets in the main hub area of the park, which were refurbished by Focus the other year, leaving us with a rather strange dryer assortment. Looking at the virtual tour, we can see that the male toilets just have SM48s, but the female ones have an incredibly strange combo of a silver worn Howard 5500E and a PHS era Model A. The accessible toilet had another SM48, however that's since been replaced with a nasty Courier, and the baby changing room has a PHS EL600. I filmed the latter too, so first we'll go to the baby room. Now across the accessible toilet with a nasty Courier. It's the first time I've ever used a K2015, but with this one being on reduced power, I was less than impressed. It's unusual to see them under the Heat Store brand though. But now we're done at Banham, we've got the fun of tracking down to Kessingland via loads of roads in the middle of nowhere, although we luckily just about avoid the cesspit known as Lowestoft. The Kessingland ZSEA site is technically called Africa Alive, however I'm just going to refer to it as the Kessingland site for this video since it makes more sense to me. Coming into here, the first thing we'll notice is that unless you're into empty grass fields, there's basically nothing here, and that there's been minimal changes to the things that are here since I was born. The first toilet we'll go to is the unmarked Innova Changing Places toilet pod, which opened just a week or two before this was filmed, with it looking incredibly out of place where it's been plopped by the mini golf course. The overall finish to this pod feels far nicer than the Rise ones, with the dryer being an Air Force. I'm presuming this was installed by Innova due to the build date in regard to the pod installation date. Oh, this is quite interesting. So at Banham they'd put in a modular Rise Changing Places toilet. But here at Kessingland, they've put in an Innova Changing Places toilet, which has an Air Force, which is much better than the Quasars in the other one, and that's a posh looking hoist to be fair. The door close is dodgy though. This is a lot nicer though, it just doesn't look right here though. So they've literally just plonked it in right next to other pathways, it just looks so out of place. I think it looks blocked though, but even that just drains really slowly, but the toilet's a lot nicer, but it just doesn't look right where it's been positioned. It's got a channel safety toilet alarm, which is more basic than the robust one that was in the Rise one. That's the most powerful Mark III Air Force I've ever used. Interesting, you've got these guide things kind of similar to the Rise ones as well. This one's got an actual NNC radar lock, whereas the Rise one was just a generic one. Next we go to the toilets in the main hub area, where the male toilets have Warner Howard 5500Es with an SM48 lowered for children, the baby changing room has a nasty corridor that I didn't film, and the accessible toilet has an SM48. The video ends quite abruptly though, since I stupidly let the storage fill right up on my phone. Right, now at the accessible toilet at the front, there is a Warner Howard SM48. Well, the baby room has a Coriat nozzle dryer, which isn't worth my time, especially as there's no toilet in there. And the male toilet has a combo of two Warner Howard 5500Es, one of which sounds a bit rough, and a lowered SM48. This toilet alarm is a lot less yellow than the other one. Still got all the older dispensers in here. There's a napkin in that bin. What's gross, because A, there's not baby changing, there's baby changing, just find that one there. And B, because there is actually a nappy bin over there. And it don't smell great in here. I'm guessing it's just done it under similar time to the ones at the top. Well, this SM48 I've heard for a while. The lemur enclosure was closed when I visited, however it has an Air Force visible through the fencing. You see there's an Air Force in this lemur encounters hand washing thing, but it's closed. It's a more modern one. Finally, we go to the toilet building at one of the ends of the site, which is identical to the one by the train station thingy at Banham, with the hand dryers being no exception since we have more pre-China Model A's. I filmed the walk up to this toilet due to how deserted the area was, since it's something I never normally get a chance to do. There's definitely a World Dry Model A in that hand washing station beyond this door, but that seems to be closed. Typical though, it's what happens when you come like what, half hour, 20 minutes before it shuts? There's no point in cutting here because the next toilet's literally there, so accessible, according to accessible, it is a World Dry Model A, so let's see if it's still here. This looks identical to what the sets at Banham actually. I've never seen one of them show green before. And it is still here. It's bloody hello lie. There. Yeah, it's still here. Which that's a good thing about when they don't bother to refit toilets. Paper towels, which I'm guessing were just used in COVID and never refilled. At least this one has a modern toilet arm in it though, because Banham there's got some weird old one. I say modern, it's definitely been there a few years. It started to be yellow. Odd place for a mirror. It's the same label design as the ones that left at Chantry Place, and Chantry Place opened in 2005, so early 2000s must have been when these toilets were last done. And they definitely need doing again. The good thing about coming this late is I literally have the whole place to itself. So after them hand dryers I've just set off in there's literally... I'm not the only person here. quite nice. Like, I'm not here for the animals, only here for the hand dryers, but it's just so nice and peaceful. So I hate places like this in the day when they're full of people. And that just about rounds up this dry adventure. I hope you enjoyed watching, so please consider liking and subscribing if you did, and I welcome any feedback as to how I could improve dry adventures in the future. Goodbye everyone.